BBC News with Sue Montgomery. The elected leader of the British Virgin Islands, Andrew Foy, has appeared in a US court on drugs and money laundering charges following his arrest in a sting operation. The pre-trial hearing came on the same day that a months-long inquiry into bad governance and corruption recommended the elected government of the British Overseas Territory be dissolved. Nomia Iqbal reports.
Just over a week ago, Andrew Foy was opening an athletics game on the British Virgin Islands. Now he is in a Miami jail. Following his arrest, he appeared on video inside a court in what looked like a prison uniform, and he'll appear here again next week for a pre-trial detention hearing. This comes as the island's governor, John Rankin, released a months-long investigation into corruption and bad governance on the islands. He is appointed by the Queen of England. The investigation has recommended the UK takes direct control for 2 years, throwing the island's future into huge uncertainty.
The head of a mosque in the Afghan capital, Kabul, says at least 50 worshippers have been killed by a powerful explosion that struck just after Friday prayers. The Taliban authorities are quoting much lower figures. An Afghan Interior Ministry spokesman saying only 10 people had died. The attack appeared to target a Sufi religious gathering at the Khalifa Saib Mosque. The head of the mosque said it was believed a suicide bomber had joined the congregation. The Pentagon spokesman has accused President Putin of cruelty and depravity in the way Russia is conducting the war in Ukraine. John Kirby said the Pentagon had worked on the assumption that Mr. Putin would pursue what he perceived as Russia's national interests with cold steel. But he believed the US hadn't fully appreciated the degree to which the Russian leader would use violence against innocent civilians, and he derided Russia's stated justifications.
It's hard to square that rhetoric by what he's actually doing inside Ukraine to innocent people. Shot in the back of the head, hands tied behind their backs, women, pregnant women being killed, hospitals being bombed. I mean, it's just unconscionable.
The 6 times Grand Slam tennis champion Boris Becker has been given a 2.5-year prison sentence for illegally concealing hundreds of thousands of dollars in assets in a bankruptcy case. The judge told him he would serve half the sentence. Our reporter Natalie Perks was at the court.
Well, Becker would have known that the chances were high of a custodial sentence today, but nevertheless, here I think there was surprise at just how long the sentence was, and it's hard to see how his career can recover from this. His defence lawyer said it was nothing short of a tragedy. He had nothing to show for his career and said it was not just a fall from grace, but a public humiliation.
World News from the BBC. A British-born Islamic State group militant has been sentenced to life in prison in the United States for the kidnapping and beheading of hostages in Syria. Alexander Cote pleaded guilty last September. Along with 3 others, Cote was involved in the killings of journalists and aid workers. Another member of the IS cell, El Shafi al-Sheikh, also appeared at the sentencing. Romania has accused pro-Russia hackers of attacking its government websites because of Bucharest's support for Ukraine in the conflict with Russia. Many sites, including the country's defence ministry, railway company and border police, were not functional for several hours on Friday morning. The Romanian cybersecurity agency said a group called Killnet had claimed credit for the attack. A British MP has been suspended from the governing Conservative Party while he's investigated over allegations he watched pornography in the House of Commons. 2 female colleagues complained they had seen Neil Parish looking at adult content on his phone while sitting near them. Here's David Wallace-Lockhart.
Neil Parish spoke to journalists outside his home and apologised to his wife for the media storm that's accompanied these allegations. Though he refused to go into specifics regarding whether or not he looked at porn on his mobile phone in the Commons, he did say he opened something in error. There are 2 potential parliamentary investigations that could look at the accusations against Mr Parish. He told reporters he would stand down if found guilty, but he now wanted to let inquiries run their course.
The US and Mexican presidents have held virtual talks dominated by the issue of immigration. Both the White House and the Mexican authorities said the talks had been constructive. There's concern about US government efforts to end a public health order instituted during the pandemic that allows the quick expulsion of migrants to prevent the spread of COVID.